So we got an update on my fallen hero, Sadia Psychology, who got exposed recently for being, a man stealer, a side chick, but it got even worse. Abba and Preach made a video and they actually interviewed her in the video, and Jesus Christ, this girl bombed that interview. I'm going to give you some spark notes of everything she's getting exposed for because it's a lot more than just the fact that she sleeps with married men. She tried to deny that she was the one sending any of these messages, but she didn't know that he had more messages that I guess the public didn't see. And of course, it came from her phone number, and she didn't really know what to say when this happened. When he literally shows this girl the text messages, she audibly says out loud, like, "Ah, shit." Like she knows that she's caught. Next, she's basically been lying about everything educationally that she has ever claimed she does not really have.
Education for him, her specific. You're gonna say that. You're gonna start with that.
PhD. You show me your PhD. I don't need to see your master's. She never produced it. I asked her email 4 or 5.
On top of that, she photoshopped a bunch of degrees. She is not actually a registered psychologist, and in most cases, I think she could have been successful even if she didn't do all this. But when your name's Sadia Psychology, you're definitely claiming to be a psychologist, and she's definitely claiming that. And then on top of this, there was a video that went viral of her giving a speech on being confident in yourself. And in the video, she literally was doing that app where it makes your body smaller. You could see the walls warping. And then this guy called her out for that. And then she DM'd him hundreds of times. She kept calling him and, of course, saying derogatory things. She left a comment saying, "Looks like you watch animal porn." Like, this is the girl that, bro, I'm mind blown. I really thought this chick was that had the keys to life. Moral of the story here is that girl is absolutely a pathological liar. Like, this is one of the biggest frauds, in my personal opinion, of all time. And this is why I'm going to have trust issues for the rest of my life. But that's just my opinion. But hey, what do you think?
What's up, guys? Welcome back to J Randall Uncensored. Today, guys, I wanted to touch on the Sadia Khan situation. For those of you who are unaware of who she is, that's why I played that little part in the beginning so you can get an idea of who I'm talking about. Well, this whole situation with her and being, coming out that she's been like a side chick and she's not a real psychologist, that's been blowing up on social media for the past week. And I didn't even respond to the Abba and Preach video. I didn't even do a reaction to video to that on my other channel. So I at least wanted to touch on it on this channel and give my thoughts. Well, my overall opinion, at least my first opinion, is that we need to be very cautious of females entering into the manosphere and giving men advice, because it's not natural. It's not wise, one, because women, they don't understand the male experience the way men experience it. They just don't. So oftentimes you run the risk of getting false information or information that's not going to serve you well. So men, I don't advise that you seek out a female counselor to help you with your issues. They're never going to be as good as a man who's just walked through life and had experiences, because you can always relate one-to-one with him as a man, whereas a woman, she's filtering it through her female lived experiences and trying to give you information. And she might be right about some things, she might be completely off the mark about other things. But a man who gets results with women and who understands women, we understand them from every aspect, and you can relate to that. Another thing, women entering into the manosphere space, we don't know their intentions, bro. We don't know their intentions. Are they pure? Are they not? It's hard to tell. And here's the thing, a lot of guys have this fantasy because we live in such a, feminist-led society. If a pretty woman comes along like Sadia, and she's saying all the right things, she's an advocate for men. She disagrees with feminism. She's all about femininity and being submissive, and she presents herself a certain way. She's not dressed like a hoe. She would always present herself very put together. She speaks very polished, right? Very well spoken. Has that accent that just makes you think, oh wow, very refined and intelligent woman. High class individual. A lot of men have this fantasy that there's of the modern woman, well put together and non-man hating. She's advocating for men. Bro, I'm not saying it's not normal in 2025. Look at most of the women out here. Most pretty women are sexualizing themselves. Most pretty women are using their beauty for monetary gain. Most pretty women are sleeping around. Here comes a chick who's trying to advertise herself as the complete opposite of all of that. And lo and behold, she's exactly what every other chick is doing. She's some dude's, some rich guy's side chick. And she's, you know, being a 304, cheating with some guy. She's loud-mouthed. She's disrespectful. I was looking at the comments that she would leave on other people's pages, the way she would talk. That's not a classy woman. That's literally textbook 304, loud-mouthed, crass, disrespectful. But she put on a really good show, a really good act of it all. And a lot of guys wanted to believe it because she was pretty. And they have this kind of fantasy of a pretty girl who advocates for men. Bro, we gotta wake up to the age we're living in. We're living in the era of misandry. If a pretty woman is advocating for men, what's her angle? Why? When she could just... Because here's the thing. Society as it exists right now benefits a woman like Sadia to just act like every other chick. Why not be a 304? Why not leverage her sexuality? Right? Why not go and date some rich billionaire, millionaire, and leverage her sexuality to the highest extent? Why go the conservative route and push that whole thing unless there was money involved? And, you know, I was looking at when Auburn Preach touched on her website and the amount she was charging men for consultations. And I think this is a really good indicator as to where the scam was, or just one element of the scam. Because she was charging men like $6,000. $6,000, bro. And I went and did some research as to like what the top psychologists, I searched it up, like what do the top highly qualified psychologists in the field charge? The best of the best, most qualified, most certified, years of experience. And I wanted to see like what is the highest a qualified person of that caliber would charge for consultations. It was around $500 at the peak. The best of the best charge around $500, which is still a lot, but it's not $6,000. What could a woman, what could anybody, forget man or woman, what could anybody tell you that is worth $6,000? I mean, a lot of people were saying, or, you know, speculating that perhaps she was using this, her consultations as like a front to like screen for certain calibers of men. Because the men who could pay $6,000 an hour were the ones who would contact her, and then she would, you know, offer different kinds of services and, you know, make that kind of transaction, which I can either confirm or deny. You know, I'm not, allegedly, let me put that out there, allegedly. But I wouldn't be surprised with all the information that came out. Now she's moving around, sleeping around. Bro, listen, guys, the manosphere is something amazing that men have been able to create, and it's constantly growing. Men are finally united in a way that we've never been before. That is an amazing thing we've done, and we've made a lot of change in society by simply banding together. And we run the risk of destroying that by letting grifters in, particularly women, because a lot of men, we're united in this and we don't want this thing to fall apart. We don't want, you know, scammers and charlatans popping up. We want to keep this thing pure, but it's hard to screen for it where a woman's intentions are. We run the risk of individuals coming to the red pill and using it as a means to just make money. I'm not saying a man can't start a YouTube channel, a podcast, and benefit from the hard work he puts in. But I know with most men, their heart, even though they're making money, their heart is still genuinely wanting to help men. Absolutely, I'll be the first one to tell you. I'm happy that I'm finally making money on my YouTube channel. My other second channel just got monetized. But I've been putting in 2 years. About 2 years of making videos before that even happened. And I've been grinding this thing out and like actually helping men consistently. Who's gonna keep doing that 2 years something with no return on investment? You know why? Because I genuinely have a passion to help men. I've been through things, I've experienced things, and I want to help men avoid those pitfalls in life. A lot of men, their heart's in the right place. And yes, there's going to be some charlatans here and there as men, but it's easier to pinpoint those individuals and call them out as opposed to a woman, because it's just a different dynamic with them. So I think as men, we need to take this as a learning lesson and really be careful who we allow into this space, because it is something I think is really incredible. And it's the last holdout for men. Where else can men go and just be completely themselves, speak their mind uninhibited, give their opinion, be supported by other men, come for information, get held accountable, and also get support, get advice, but also get criticism, and they can let you know where you're messing up. I'm telling you guys, this is a great thing that we've created here, and we're making a lot of change in the world. But we gotta make sure that we're screening whoever comes in, both man and woman. But because of the Sadia Khan situation, it's opened up our eyes to women in particular. If women come in, they put on a great appearance. They're usually very attractive, very well spoken. They're saying all the right things. Anytime we see that, we either need to outright reject it and just keep the manosphere just completely about the men with men voices, or we need to really dig deep into who this woman is and really question, what's her angle? What's your angle here? Where does your intentions lie? Because a lot of the times it's just money. But that's my thought on the situation, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And until next time, take it easy.